We're gonna be ranking every movie I watched in May, but it's already June 7th. Oops. I haven't got as many this time because I broke my 40-day long film streak, and also I was away for a week at the end of the month, so it's gonna be a little shorter this time. How many are there? 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24. First up, on the 1st of May, I watched The Devil Wears Prada in preparation for watching The Devil Wears Prada 2 the next day. I was actually going to watch The Sixth Sense, and then I watched this instead to prepare. So it was kind of a big switch up of genre. I like The Devil Wears Prada. I've seen it quite a few times. I mean, it's not like incredible cinema or anything, but it's fun, and I like it. And I'm going to put it in B, right about there. No, I'm going to put it there. No, yeah, I'm gonna put it there. But The Devil Wears Prada 2, on the other hand, the sequel, I did not like it. I always thought it would be bad because I feel like making a sequel of any film that's as iconic as The Devil Wears Prada, especially this far in the future, it's never gonna go well. I did not have high hopes, and I'm glad I didn't because I did not like it. I thought it was so forgettable. I barely remember anything about it, apart from all the things I hated about it. Like, there was references in this film, but they didn't trust you to understand the references. For example, when Andy was talking to the assistant, they said any girl would kill for this job, and she was like, haha, I've heard that one before. I didn't need you to say that. Just give a little chuckle or something. I don't know. You don't have to like explain it to me. It was like they thought that I was stupid. I didn't find that there was any memorable jokes or lines. Like, The Devil Wears Prada has a lot of memorable lines and like quotable lines, but I didn't feel like that at all with this film. I liked that there was a callback to the Vogue scene from the first film because that's a really good scene, but I didn't think it wasn't done as well this time. I thought it was a lot less like cool with the editing. I thought some of the characters were just like kind of mischaracterized, like especially Emily and Miranda. I didn't like how Emily was like super dependent on her boyfriend. Like, I know that she was kind of using him, but I also feel like that's not really Emily either. I feel like she's too, is headstrong the right word? I don't know if that's the right word. Like, independent for that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And then Andy had like the most pointless shoehorned in romance of all time, and I always fucking hate that in a film. I hate romance that isn't important. I don't want romance if it doesn't matter. Like, what was the point of him? I've actually seen a lot of people say that, which is so validating. Because sometimes I think it's just me not liking romance, but I'm so glad that other people felt the same about that. And then also, like, this isn't really about the film exactly, but it definitely leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The film had like kind of somewhat of an anti-AI message, and I like that, obviously. But why did they do that and then use the film to start promoting Google Gemini AI everywhere? Like, every time I've been to the cinema, there has been a Google Gemini AI ad that's like linked to The Devil Wears Prada 2, and I just think that's crazy. I just think that's crazy. You know, I actually ranked this as a C in my ranking. I don't know why I did that because it's a D. Fuck this film. I'll put it below The Magic Faraway Tree. You know, the AI thing just pushes it over the edge for me. I just don't like that. Next, we have Michael, which I saw right after The Devil Wears Prada 2 in the cinema. Initially, I thought that I really liked it, but like after I thought about it a bit more, it was like, I think a lot of people have compared it to the Bohemian Rhapsody film, but I haven't seen that in years, so I can't really talk about that. I do want to rewatch that sometime actually, because I've heard the editing is not very good, especially considering it won the editing Oscar. But like a lot of the film was just full concert scenes and not any plot at all. It was just a concert, and like it was cool or whatever, but like it wasn't really, like they could have had more plot and not just music, I guess. And then also, it didn't go into any of like the allegations and stuff against Michael, which I obviously don't like, but I also don't think that this was like a part one. I don't think that any of those had come out at this point, so I don't think that they would have included it even if they are going to. But even outside of that, the way they depicted Michael was just as having absolutely no flaws at all. He was just like an angel, and I hate that. Like, that's just bad filmmaking to not have any flaws in your character. Obviously he's like a real person, but real people have flaws. Like, I don't like how sanitized it was, I guess. With that, I guess it'll be kind of more telling when the next one comes out how much they're gonna sanitize it. I also had no idea this was only a part one. I gave it a B. I'm gonna put it just a... no, I'm gonna put it below The Devil Wears Prada. I just would probably rather watch The Devil Wears Prada again. Also on the 2nd, so my 3rd film of the 2nd of May was Laz and the Real Girl, but that's a rewatch, so we're not moving that. And then on the 3rd, I watched Coraline, which I have also seen many, many times because I watch it every Halloween. This was an exception just because I think I saw a YouTube short about it and I was like, man, I really want to watch Coraline right now, and it's peak. It's always peak. I'm trying to read my notes about this film and it's so disjointed, and then I read I have really fucking bad cramps right now, so I'm a bit distracted. That makes sense. DNF because my cramps were too bad and I wanted to sleep, but Coraline is awesome. You know, that's so fair. Coraline is always gonna be an A. I'm gonna put it above The Social Network, I think. Stop motion is so fucking cool. How do they like have the patience for that? And I'm so glad that they're still making them. I think having a new film come out this year, I think. I'm so excited. I'll definitely go and see that. When I was in college, I did game design and media, and our university had a talk from Leica, and it was so fucking sick. They didn't talk about Coraline, but they talked about, I think it's The Missing Link, like the Bigfoot film. And it was all like behind the scenes stuff. It was so cool. And then on the 4th, I watched The Sixth Sense. The first thing I wrote is Haley Joel Osment was so cute. What the fuck? I looked up the film and I saw that Haley Joel Osment was in it, and I was like, that name sounds really familiar. And it's because he saw her in Kingdom Hearts, and I've never played Kingdom Hearts, but I've been editing it. So I was like, when I was watching the film, I was trying to listen to see if I could hear him as Sora, but I couldn't, which is pretty impressive because he was very, very young. Toni Collette is in this, but she looks so different that I like genuinely didn't even know it was her until I checked the cast. Like, I did not recognize her at all. It was crazy. Also, before I watched this film, when I looked it up briefly, suggested questions on Google just spoiled the whole film for me. It just gave the whole thing away. So I went into this knowing the plot twist and everything, but I actually still really enjoyed it like that because I got to be able to see the things that pointed towards it along the way. The fact that knowing that didn't spoil the film for me is really good and positive, I think. It was really fun, like, playing detective, I guess. And I really like seeing the mother-son relationship because it was just so sweet. I really liked it. I gave this an A above Boyer. And then on the 5th, I watched Memento, but that was a rewatch. I didn't watch anything on the 6th. And then on the 7th, I watched Chicago. And I actually really liked this. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but the music was really good. And the intro when Velma is performing and she's singing and like the lyrics are reflecting what Roxy's character is doing, and it kind of swaps between them. It was really cool. I really like the editing. I'm trying to decipher my notes. I need to stop writing notes about just what's happening. I need to just write my thoughts because it's really hard to parse what's happening here. I did not know that this film is where that song is from. You know, the one that's like, it's like they both reach for the gun, and it was like all over like TikTok and YouTube shorts and stuff. I did not know that it was from this, and it was kind of jump scary. I really love the music in this film. The songs are really good and songs mirroring the story, especially the ventriloquist one. I wrote specifically that I like that one. The tap dance along the diary section of the trial, yes. I wrote the ending felt kind of abrupt and the final song and dance was honestly the weakest in the whole film, but I still really liked it. I actually ranked this one really high. I'm gonna put it, why is Memento above Juno? Get down here. I'll put Chicago above that. Actually, no, I'll put Chicago above. No, actually, I'll do it like that. Okay, there we go. On the 8th, I watched The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Daniel Craig one. It's like, I wrote 30 minutes in and finding this mad boring so far, to be honest. I don't remember this film super well, I'll be honest. Now I'm thinking about it. Content warnings for this one. I'm going to talk about sexual assault and rape and murder and abuse, so skip this part if you want. But this film had an extremely graphic scene followed by an extremely graphic revenge scene. I didn't like that. I did not like, they did not have to be doing all that, I feel like. But I really liked Lisbeth. She was cool. She was like the only thing that I really liked about the film, I think. They killed a cat, so fuck you. It didn't have any subtitles on Amazon, and I wrote that I didn't like that because I couldn't understand what they were saying a lot of the time. I hated that Lisbeth and Daniel Craig's character, whatever he's called, had a romance. I didn't like it because God forbid a man and woman have a platonic relationship. Summary: first hour was boring as hell unless Lisbeth was on screen. Yup. The rest was better because Lisbeth was involved in the actual main plot. I guess I liked the film, but it was nothing special to me, and I probably won't remember anything of it except for Elizabeth because I love her. That's exactly how I feel. I called it. Every time that there was a female character, pretty much there was a lot of murders, and every single woman who was murdered was like, it's just unnecessary. Like, is murdering them not enough? Like, to calm down. I'm gonna give this, you know, I've talked about it. I want to move it down from where I put it. I wouldn't watch this again. I'll think about it like that, because I would watch Crazy Stupid Love again, so maybe I'll put it there. On the 9th, I watched Project Hail Mary for the 5th time. And then right after that, I watched The Sheep Detectives. And I thought from the trailer, The Sheep Detectives looked really boring and kind of bad. And I was like, oh man, seeing this right after Project Hail Mary is gonna make it like an F tier. It's like gonna be so bad in comparison. I really like The Sheep Detectives. A few people had told me it was really good, and I'm really glad that I went to see it. I teared up like 4 or 5 times watching it. It really got me a few times, but there was little kids sat next to me and I didn't want to cry in case they like saw me, and it would have been really embarrassing to cry in front of like 5-year-olds. So I just held it in, but like especially the thing right at the end, the floodgates nearly opened. I had to hold it in so bad. I feel like this, in comparison to the Magic Faraway Tree, it shows how I felt about the Magic Faraway Tree. It wasn't scary enough, which sounds insane for a kid's film, but like it felt like it didn't have any stakes and there was no danger or like consequences really. The Sheep Detectives, it was whimsical and like childish like on the front, but it was like so much about death and grief and like heavy emotional beats, and it had like good humor too, so like it was just like a perfect balance of everything. I really think that's how a kid's film should be. And I'm gonna put this, is that too low? I'm gonna put it there, but I might move it. On the 10th, I watched Companion. This whole section is gonna be spoilers, so for the YouTube video I'll put a timestamp on. I wrote 5 minutes in, I might be insane, but I've decided Iris is a robot. And then I have my evidence list, so let's rattle this off. Evidence for Iris being a robot. She walks weird. Insists that Josh, her boyfriend, thanks the robot car. Josh calls her beep boop. I wasn't built that way. Something inside me holding me back. She tells him the exact weather robotically, played as a joke, but I know what you are. She repeats his Russian well, despite not understanding what it meant. Sergey says, this is what you are for, when he assaults her. I was right, let's fucking go. I did kind of go into this film with an inkling that she was a robot from the poster, but I didn't know that. It was really cool to like have that idea and then see all the evidence for it and then have it confirmed. I've never really had that before. It was really fun. Yeah, there was a plot twist where another person that was there was a robot, and I actually didn't expect that. And I wrote that I guess that's why they don't think Josh is a freak for having a robot girlfriend. There were hints to the other one being a robot, but I just didn't pick up on them. But I thought about it afterwards and I was like, actually, that's pretty... that makes sense. Iris saying the most cliche breakup lines is so funny. I do really like that because she's a robot, so she probably had to like look up breakup lines, and she was saying like, it's not you, it's me, and stuff like that. It was really good. My overall thoughts, I enjoyed this, kept my attention really well. It was pretty predictable, even as someone who hasn't seen many thrillers, but this is a way better feminist movie than Poor Things, in my opinion. I wrote that Iris, once awoken, fully takes control of herself and acquaints herself with so many aspects of her body and mind that she didn't know existed before, and it's going against objectification even outside of the robot plotline. I quite liked Companion, even though it was very predictable. I put it above The Sixth Sense, I think. Maybe it isn't like the most incredible film of all time, but it was fun to watch, so there we go. Next up, we have Sully. I watched this because I needed a short film, and I think this one was like an hour and a half long. I wrote, this movie is pissing me off because are they going to make a problem out of a situation like this when the plane was damaged and going down and the pilot saved everyone's lives? Don't piss me off, bro. And I wrote that the film did a really good job at making me annoyed. It was pretty tense, but it didn't get an emotional reaction out of me. But I did enjoy it, especially knowing it's a true story, which I didn't know before going into it. The actor that played the air traffic control guy that was dealing with the plane that was crashing was like really good in the role. I wrote overall good, but I doubt it'll be overly memorable for me, except when I go on my first plane this month. Yikes. Yeah, I was thinking about this when I was on my plane. So I'm gonna put this probably just above Inception. I still need to rewatch Inception. Inception is almost definitely going to move when I rewatch it. It's just whenever I get around to it. Next, on the 12th, I watched The Great Gatsby, but we gotta make a new category. It's not a good new category because I didn't finish it, because I thought it was shit. I just didn't like it. I didn't make it very far, to be honest. I think I made it like maybe half an hour into the film and then I was over it. I didn't like the narration. I don't generally like narration at all. The music was annoying me. Why were they using modern music in a film that's set in the 20s? I fucking hate that. That was the main reason why I stopped watching it. I just couldn't do it. And then I'm a bit scared to say this. I don't really like Tobey Maguire, which isn't great for this film because he's like the main character. So that also didn't help. So I didn't finish it and I'm never gonna finish it. Also on the 12th, I watched Easy A and I literally rented this just so I wouldn't have to watch Gatsby anymore. Needed a shorter film to watch last minute. So many famous people in the cast, holy shit. There was a lot of famous people, it was crazy. I think a lot of people really like this film. I thought it was like okay, but it was Emma Stone. So that's good. But I'm gonna put it, I think, probably just below The Devil Wears Prada. No. Yeah. Looking at this, having Saving Private Ryan there just feels wrong. But like, I don't really remember Saving Private Ryan that much, so maybe it doesn't deserve to get moved up? I don't really know. I feel like my tier list is an abomination. I'm scared to upload this. Yeah, on the 13th, I watched Annihilation, which I'd actually been pretty excited to watch because I listened to an overview of the book and I thought the book sounded really interesting, so I wanted to try the film, but I didn't really like it as much as I wanted to. I was really disappointed. I had really high hopes and I just wasn't a big fan. The reason why I wasn't really impressed with it is like, it was kind of interesting, but it just wasn't as much as I wanted it to be. I wanted the environments to be more weird. It literally was just like a normal forest pretty much, and then there was like a couple trees that had some like colourful fuzz on them. They looked like fat pipe cleaners basically. I just didn't like it. Like, where's the whimsy? The one part that was cool was there was like plants that had grown into the shape of people. That was really sick. I like that. When they get closer to the lighthouse is supposed to be like the center of all of the weird, but she gets to the lighthouse and it's just like a couple of scattered like crystal trees on the beach. It looks like shit. I just think they could have done so much cooler things with it. All the characters kind of felt nothing to me, and I didn't like the present day interview type scenes being dispersed into the shimmer section because it felt like a spoiler. Let me wonder whether she'll live or die, if she'll be lucid when she leaves or totally insane. I actually need to add more to this because since then I've read a little over half of the book. I was so disappointed in the film that I went out and bought the book. I haven't read it for a bit since I was away for a week, so I need to get back into it, but I was really, really enjoying it. It's like the first book in a long time that I didn't want to put down when I was reading it. It's so much more interesting. I think it's 4 women in the book, 5 in the film. The 4 women, they all have different roles. Like there's the psychologist and the biologist and the linguist and my brain keeps wanting to say cardiologist. That's not right. The one that does the maps. And I love this concept so much more. Like, I don't get why they didn't put this in the film. It's like so important to the plot of the book, and it's just not in the film at all. It's like the most interesting part to me. Like the fact that the psychologist like mind controls them to do things and like to not see certain things and to see things in a different way to how they really are. Like, that's so fucking sick. So I'm not really a big fan. I probably won't watch it again. I'll probably put it like here, maybe just above the girl with the dragon tattoo. I liked the bear. The bear was pretty cool. Next up on the 14th, I watched Kill Bill, but I only watched the first part, and I'm not going to rank it yet because I want to watch the second part before I rank it, since they're like continuation of each other. I just haven't found the right time. I was going to watch it the day after, but it just didn't work out, and then I haven't gone back to it since, and that's a fatal flaw of mine. If I play a video game every single day, if I stop playing it for one day, I won't play that game ever again, and I feel like I've done the same thing. That's kind of why I didn't want to ever break my movie streak either, because I felt like if I didn't watch a film one day, I would never watch one ever again. Luckily that didn't happen, but I have been watching them a lot less since I broke it, but still way more than I used to, so I'm still pretty happy with it. So then I didn't watch anything on the 15th, but on the 16th we did a movie marathon in the Discord where we'll watch 3 or 4 films all in one go. We usually do a movie night every Saturday, but I just thought it would be really fun to do one where we just watch a bunch of films all in one day. So on this day we watched Baby Driver, then Anatomy of a Fall, then Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then Shutter Island. The only 2 of these I'm going to rank are Baby Driver and Shutter Island. I did already rank Baby Driver last time, but I've moved it out of the tier list so I can re-rank it because I want to change it. I did totally expect to like it better on a rewatch, which is why I really wanted to watch it again. The first 2 scenes in the film are so fucking sick. Like, syncing everything that's happening to the music must have taken so much practice and like trial and error to get that right, I feel like. It was really impressive. I didn't really like Jamie Foxx. I feel like he kind of pulls me out of the film. He just feels like wrong. I think I'm just not a big Jamie Foxx kind of fan. I didn't find him very believable. He kind of just seems like Jamie Foxx. Yeah, I liked Dunkirk, but this film should have won the sound editing Oscar IMO. Probably the editing one itself, as it's so unique and well made. Fully agree with past me. So this was originally a C, I think, but this is actually going to go up to an A and a high A. Actually, I might even put it above Memento. I think I'll put it there. And then Shutter Island. I wasn't like a huge fan of this film. I felt like I didn't really connect with the twist. I don't know, I just thought it was kind of uninspired. I don't know if that sounds mean. I just thought it was kind of to be like, oh my god, he was actually crazy the whole time. I don't know, I don't like that. I thought it would have been way more interesting if the plot was actually what it led you to believe before the plot twist, like a corrupt psychiatric hospital. I thought that would have been so much cooler than the plot twist, which is probably why I don't like the plot twist very much. I didn't hate it though, so I'm gonna give this a B. Persona 6 teaser just drawn. You can't say that to me, I'm streaming. It's gonna go... I'll probably give it a really low B. Actually, I'm probably not gonna watch it again. I'll put it below Annihilation. On the 19th, 13th, we have the Bourne Identity. Immediate graphic surgery. I love this in films. That's sarcasm. I fucking hate graphic surgery for no fucking reason. Don't show me that shit. I will not watch. Anyway, I'm gonna look away. So don't put it in the film. There's no point. Some of it was pretty predictable. The car chase was pretty good. I like that. But it was funny how many times they like very clearly showed that Matt Damon was not driving that car. I thought that was really funny. I don't typically notice stuff like that too, so it must have been pretty obvious for me to notice. But I'm gonna give this a B. I don't really remember it, and I watched it pretty recently. I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna put easier back here, I think. It was 2 days later, on the 21st, I watched the Bourne Supremacy. I literally only wrote one thing, and I'm not gonna say it because it's a spoiler, but it did take me by surprise. That's the only thing I wrote, so I guess I wasn't really invested. I'm probably just gonna put this one back here, because I don't remember a single thing. I haven't watched the rest of the Bourne films yet. I took a break from them, so I'll have to get back to that at some point. Next up, on the 22nd, I finally watched Dune Part 1. I thought it was okay. I've heard it's mostly set up for the next movies, so I'm gonna like reevaluate this one after I watch the second one. I haven't seen it yet. There was one editing part that I wrote down that I didn't like, and I actually do remember this. There was a part when a character that I don't remember the name of got into like a copter. It basically showed him flying away the whole time, but just before that there was a cut. Like he got into the copter and then it cut to a different angle, and he was suddenly like in the air a little bit or something like that, and it was just jarring, and I didn't like that cut because they showed the whole rest of him taking off, so why did they cut it? It kind of broke the continuity of the scene. That was the only thing I wrote down. But now, before I watch part 2, I'm gonna give this one a B, probably there. And then on the 23rd, I saw Finding Emily in the cinema, and you know what? I really liked it. I wasn't sure I was gonna like it because it was a rom-com, and I do not like romance, as we know, but I really, really liked it. It was a lot more kind of comedy and more wholesome friendshipy, and then like kind of got romantic towards the end. And it was cringe, but like in a good way. Some of the editing was really cool, and it's set in the north of England, and I love that. I love when there's a film set in the north of England. It took me a while to get used to the Manchester accent, but I liked it. I'm probably gonna put it there. I really liked The Social Network, but I've realised that it's kind of not... I have seen it a bunch of times, but I feel like I kind of only rewatch it as much as I do because it has Andrew Garfield in it. I just think there's other films that I would rather rewatch, and this is one of them, I think. I actually really wanted to see it again in the cinema, but it's not running anymore. And then also on the 23rd, we did a movie night for Blade Runner 2049, and the only thing I wrote is, in all caps, so fucking boring, and I gave it a D. It can go above the first one, but I don't like it. It was really boring. Everyone hated it. That was at the movie night. No one liked it. On the 24th, I watched Mickey 17, which I did enjoy, and Robert Pattinson was great in it, and it was really easy, even though there was 2 of him, it was easy to tell them apart because he acted them like so differently. I thought that the plot change towards the end was a little strange. Like I thought that it would focus more on the multiples and like shenanigans of the multiples, and I did like the creeper storyline that it switched to, but it kind of felt like 2 different films to me. Also, I thought that Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette's characters were too one note. Like I get that it was a satire and they were supposed to be like exaggerated like that, but they felt way too much like caricatures next to the rest of the characters that weren't like that. But I did like generally like it. I'll probably give it a B. I'm gonna put it above Dune. I think I'm gonna move Sully down, actually. Maybe like that. And then on the 25th, I watched St. Trinians just to put something on because my dad was out and I was like, I want to watch something really casual. I've seen it before. It's like fun and silly, but it's not like extremely memorable. Like it's pretty good. I don't really know why it's not as iconic as like Mean Girls and Clueless and stuff, because it is really good. It's probably just because it's British. And the cast is like crazy stacked too. Like crazy stacked. Do you know Temple is in this and in Wild Child? Playing like basically the same character. That made it always really confuse me, because I would watch like Wild Child and be like, she looks really familiar, but then I always thought she was only in Wild Child, but then I would watch St. Trinians and be like, she looks really familiar, but always think that she was only from St. Trinians. I like that the makeover scene made her less like clean girl and more like edgy, unlike every other makeover scene ever. I'm gonna give it a B, I think. Probably put it just above the Bourne Supremacy. Last film of May is Flow. After the 25th, I was away for about a week, but we did watch one film while we were away, and it was Flow. I liked it. It was very pretty. I didn't like how evil they made the dogs, because I really like dogs, and the dogs were really mean. And it was really stressful. Half the time it was wholesome, and half the time it was horrific. I liked it, but I don't have like a ton to say. I don't remember it super well. I'm probably gonna give it like a high B, maybe like... yeah. That's my tier list for April and May. And as of the 7th of June, I've watched, let's see, 5 films so far this month. I hope that everyone doesn't hate it too much. If you have any thoughts on like films that I ranked, like if you really like one that I didn't like, or if you really hate one that I did like, I really want to know why and like what you thought. So let me know. But be nice, please. I'm very fragile.